Hello, everyone. I'm live. It's been a while since I've gone live, so if I mess this up, please forgive me. But I'm so excited to be here to kick off a brand new year of finding speaking engagements, brand new year of going live. I will give you the background of what's been going on, what's happening with iFind You Close, and all the things. So for those of you who are here, I am Felicia Jones. I am the lead researcher and founder of I Find You Close. Thank you so very much for being here. I'm just kicking off the new year. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited because what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about bringing more value to your speaking gigs. So with that, if you are watching on the Eventbrite platform, you see there's a button down at the bottom left that says watch here on YouTube. Click that button. I'm going to be answering questions live. This is like a Q&A session. Any questions that you have around speaking, please let me know, and I will go ahead and start answering them. As you can see, I typically wear glasses, but I'm wearing my contacts right now. But I have discovered that I have to start wearing readers. I'm at that age in life. So I need readers so that I can read your questions that you're putting up here. The other thing is I got braces. Technically aligners. And for those of you who have ever had aligners as an adult, these are hard to talk in. So I'm going to try not to lisp or slur my words as much as possible. It's almost an impossible task as a speaker to be able to do this. So first, I'm gonna give you some updates with I Find You Close. So for those of you who are here, this is being brought to you by I Find You Close. Every week, we were bringing office hours to all of our members. So we decided to do something different for 2022. And we're going to be doing 30 days to speaker success. So everything that I'm talking about today, we're going to give you 30 days to work on it. And I want you to know that in the next 30 days, these are things that you can implement inside of your speaking business for you to kind of get where you need to be and where you need to go. So, and we're also going to call these office hours as well. So if you are a member of I Find You Close, if you have questions around speaking gigs, pitching, landing gigs, whatever, please let me know. I will answer those in the comments. And some new things that we're doing for I Find You Close is that we're now posting TEDx events and we're posting small business grant opportunities. We're trying to get to the place where we'll find the things that you can close that'll help you grow inside of your business and inside of your speaking business. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to talk about how to bring more value. We only have a short amount of time. So if you have any questions, please put them in the comment box. If you're watching this later, you could put them down in the comment section. I will get the notifications and I will answer you later. All right. So the first thing is this is a brand new year. The rules of speaking have not changed. They probably will never change, but there's something that is very different about going forward. There's a lot more competition happening in the world of speaking. So you're gonna have to bring your A game. 2020 was kind of a okay, let's get our stuff together. 2021 was like, hey, you got to start working on this. Now that it's 2022, everybody is back. The big hitters are back, so they are taking on the big gigs. You have more competition. You have people who had a year to kind of get themselves together, and they're coming out swinging, and they're swinging pretty hard. Live events are coming back. Not only are we seeing live and virtual events, but we're seeing virtual components to events. So you're going to have to start bringing your A game so much more than what we were doing a year ago when it comes to speaking. And the other thing that we need to do when it comes to being a speaker and getting out there is we need to bring more value to our speaking gigs, okay? We got to bring more value. I'm running into a lot of speakers that are just like, I just want to share my story. I did this. I did this. You know. It sounds like, was Finding Nemo, like mine. Yeah, that's what it's sounding like with a lot of speakers. And right now, if you're trying to bring your A game, you're trying to be on stage more often than the next person, you're going to have to change the way you really think about this, how you bring more value. To everything you're doing. So today, for the next 30 days, I'm going to give you 5 things that you can work on for the next 30 days to bring in a lot more value to your speaking gig. So the very first thing that we're going to talk about is you need to have something to sell. Now I know a lot of speakers, they come to me and they're like, well, I just want to share my story. I don't need to make money yet. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I'm sorry. Even if you don't want to make money, you need to have something to sell. And the reason why I'm telling you this is what happens when you get on stage and you are amazing. Everybody loves you and they want more. What are you going to do? Are you really going to tell them, you know what, at this time, I have nothing to give you. I just wanted to do this. Even though you want more, and even though I probably could deliver something, I'm just not going to. No, I know, just making that up. I know you would never do that, but this is what I'm talking about here. I learned this from experience. I just wanted to get out there and make a name for myself, which is great. If that is your purpose, go and do it. But just remember, if you haven't thought about the next step, you could find yourself 3 years later having tons of speaking gigs and not making any money. So I always encourage every speaker I work with to have something to sell. The other thing is, if you're running into gigs where they're not paying you enough, or if they give you the opportunity, you can negotiate for people to buy your book, buy your course, buy your, whatever it is that you're selling, get your services. I need you to have something to sell because it'll make you feel better about your speaking gigs. And I know it may feel like, oh, I'm being salesy. I'm not saying that you're going on stage to sell anything. I just need you to figure out the what's next. When somebody comes to you and say, oh my gosh, I love you, what are you going to do? Are you going to say that's great? You know, you got to give them a chance to have more of you. And also, if somebody wants to work with you on a bigger platform or a workshop, you need to have something prepared in place so that people can get more of you. So that's the first thing that I want you to work on in the next 30 days, have something to sell. The next thing is have a solid call to action. Once you figure out this thing to sell, you have to have a solid call to action. Like I said, a lot of speakers I'm running into, they were like, I just want you to think about what you're doing. That is not a solid call to action. You need to have something extremely solid that will inadvertently lead back into whatever it is that you're selling, whatever it is that you're promoting, whatever it is that you're marketing. You need to have a solid call to action, and you need one. You need one. I just finished working with the speaker, and we're going through the call to action. And there's like a list of like 12. I want you to do this, 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 and this. No, remember, when we have an audience, they only will remember one thing you said. So we need to have a solid call to action, and make sure the call to action is something back to you. Yes, they need to do something, unless you are a motivational speaker and you want them to go out and do good in the world. Have a call to action to that. But we need something solid. We need something a little bit more than I just want you to think. I just want you to be a better person. If it's something like I need you to go hug 2 people a day, that is a solid call to action, not just thinking. We think too much already, okay? And also, if it's a call to action to get more from you, to get more information, that is something that you definitely need to work on in the next 30 days. And the reason I'm talking about all of this is that as live events are coming back, as we're seeing more hybrid virtual components added to live events, you're not going to want to just give away your information without having something in return, okay? Something that can lead to something else. And I want all of us as speakers to be very, very prepared for the what's next. Always ask yourself, what is it that I want people to do the moment I walk off stage? And if your first thought is, I just want them to think about something, that's not good enough. I want you to have something a lot more solid, and it has to have a call to action to it as well. So we talked about the first 2 things: have something to sell, have a solid call to action. The third thing we're going to talk about is have a follow-up system. Okay, here's the deal. For those of you who are using speaking as marketing, and that's one of the things that we really focus in on at iFind You Close, is using speaking as a way to market your brand and your business and your products. You have to have a follow-up system. If you are a member of iFind You Close, we did a whole series on follow-up systems last summer. The courses are available to you for free for a limited time. For those of you who are not members, you can go to ifindyouclose.com/courses. And the class is $10 on all of the systems that you need as a speaker. You have to have a follow-up system. If you are trying to get clients from an audience, remember that call to action? That call to action needs to be in a series of something. What is your follow-up system? Are you a phone call person? Are you doing those sales calls, once you get their phone number? Do you have a solid email campaign in place so that when people opt in for your freebie, for your giveaway, that it will lead them to closing something with you? This is part of that follow-up system. That's just one. The next follow-up system is to the person who booked you. You need to be able to have this person give you your testimonial and refer you out to someone else. You got to have a follow-up system to connect with the person that booked you, to say thank you, and to get those clients. And then, of course, if you're going to an event and you're networking, what is the follow-up system for that? So make sure, if you want to get more value out of getting on stage, you have to have these follow-up systems in place. I just did a workshop the other day, and somebody was saying, speaking for free and all this stuff. It's just like, I don't like doing it and blah, 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 blah. I get it. I get it. Nobody wants to technically speak for free. But when it comes to marketing your business, you might be speaking for free, and that is okay. The thing is, you need to have a plan of what you're going to get out of it. Remember, you need to bring more value to your speaking gigs. And I probably didn't set this up properly. This is more value to you as the speaker of what you're going to bring to it, so that people will know that, I am a solid speaker. I have everything together, and I want to make a good impression. Now, and at the same time, bringing more value to your speaking does help the audience. Now you have something that they can have. Something that they can grab onto. And when it comes to the person that booked you, now it just seems like you're more solid. You have things in place. This is how you keep bringing value to your gigs, and not just speaking and then just like, okay, this didn't work out for me. All right. So like I said, if you have any questions around anything, please put them in the comment box. I will answer them. Otherwise, I will get your notifications a little bit later. There's a lot of information to cover in a small amount of time, because I really want you to work on these when it comes to your speaking career. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is be prepared to create additional content. Now, this is something really interesting that's been popping up over the last year because of events. They call it 365 engagement. This is where before we had an event, it'll pop up, they'll do their marketing for like 2 or 3 months. Now events are marketing just like a product. They're going for a full year of engagement to get people drawn into their event. And what is happening is you as a speaker will have an opportunity to create additional content to go with that. That might be a minute and a half video before the event, letting people know that you're going to be speaking on a particular topic, or that you're the expert in whatever field. Just getting people primed to come to your talk. That is something that's happening a lot, especially if you are the main speaker for an event. Now is your chance to offer additional content that says, hey, I can do a 3-part video series, like a minute or two less, just kind of getting people ready for my talk, ready for my keynote. So I want you to get in the mindset that you might be creating additional content, and then also negotiate to create additional content. Remember, being out there as a speaker, the goal is, if you're doing this as a marketing tool, you need to convince people to come and work with you. You need to convince the person that booked you that you are fun to work with, you're professional, and you're bringing your A game, and that you are not just the speaker who's a one and done. I come and do my thing, I don't hang out, I don't talk to you, then I leave. But because we are seeing a lot of virtual components going to live gigs, this is something that you're gonna have to do to bring up a little bit more engagement. And also, for those of you who are doing events where you are a virtual speaker, a lot of that is being pre-recorded. So you might want to have a lot of, not a lot, but you might want to consider doing additional content. I'm looking at myself and my hands are going everywhere. I could just tell it's been a while since I've been on camera. So hopefully I'm not too distracting with my arm movements, but I am pretty excited about what I'm talking about. And finally, the final thing that I want you to work on over the next 30 days is you need more engagement, period. Like I said, there's the additional content, but there's more engagement. When you are out there speaking live, you need to figure out a way to engage the audience. I've been working with a few speakers lately, and a lot are very driven by, here's my story. I did this, I did that, I did. And I was working with a speaker, and I was working with them, and I was saying, tell me more about this story. Well, I just did this, and then they moved on. And I said, no, here's the thing. Being a speaker is learning how to be a storyteller. You're going to have to start telling those stories. They're going to have to be descriptive. They're going to have to get people to be on the edge of their seats. You're not going to be able to get away with just, when I worked as an engineer, I went to work every day and I didn't like it, and I realized I needed to change my life. You got to paint the picture for somebody who's in that audience that might be feeling the same way. You want to say, when I was 25 years old, I was fresh out of college, didn't know what I was doing, but I knew I wanted to be an engineer. And every day I would wake up, and then I would feel the weight on the world when I would walk into the office and they just started hounding on me, So this is how we're just going to paint the picture. Because remember, engagement is not just asking a question. How many of you love to eat cheese? And you get everybody to raise your hand. That is one form of engagement. And I've seen that a lot even in virtual gigs, and sometimes it doesn't work out very well. It feels really forced. So we like that type of engagement, the question and the raise the hands, but you don't want a lot of that because it gets weird. Like, okay, I've raised my hand like 12 times when I'm speaking. I want you to get beyond that and actually get into the storytelling. That's how you get people engaged. You want people to just hang on to every word of what you're saying, to say yes, to cry, to cheer, to moan, to groan. I want you to work on that. If you have a gig coming up in the next 30 days, even a virtual gig, this is the time for you to start playing around with your storytelling. Now, that is the end of what I have to tell you today. I'm going to repeat this so that we'll have a very clear and concise thing of everything you need to do over the next 30 days to bring more value to your speaking gigs. Of course, if you have some questions, please put them in the comment box. I will answer them. And for those of you, if you're out there looking for speaking gigs, I want you to come check us out at ifindyoukclose.com. I would love to have you. So let me do this review really quick of the 5 things that I need you to do over the next 30 days to bring more value to your speaking gigs. First, I need you to have something to sell, just to answer, when people say, what's next? What do I do? What's next? All right. And then you have to have a solid call to action to get people to do something. One call to action, not 12 different things. One opt-in button. That's all we need. Have a follow-up system. Remember, your follow-up system is basically how you're going to make a lot of money and how you're going to get more gigs. So make sure you have your follow-up systems. If you have not attended our class on follow-ups, go to ifindyoukclose.com/courses. I think it's up. If it's not, just yell at me. I'll make sure that it's up. But we went through every system that a speaker needs to have. And having a follow-up to close clients and to get more gigs is definitely something you need to work on. And then you need to be prepared to create additional content. This 365 engagement for live events is a real thing. And being able to create a couple of videos before your gig to get people excited about you or to tease your content. This is something that I really think you should work on so that you can have more engagement for your next gig. And of course, more engagement. It's time to practice that storytelling, drawing everything out, engaging more with your audience. And I know for those of you who've been doing virtual gigs is a little hard, but we got to figure out how to be more engaging, being more animated, telling more stories, telling more jokes, getting people to be on the edge of their seats like, okay, I need to hear the rest of the story. That's what we're trying to go for. And with the comeback, like the real comeback of live events in 2022, you're going to have to dust off feeling the weirdness of not being in front of audiences and start telling these stories. I know people like to use the words being authentic. I like the word authentic as well, but let's make sure they're very authentic storytelling. that grab people and get them more engaged, and figuring out engagement before and after. Remember, more engagement includes creating that additional content, engaging while you're on stage, and having that follow up system to engage. So I think the theme that I'm trying to get to is that it's all about engagement. The next 30 days, you need to figure out more ways of engaging while you're on stage, after the stage, and before the stage. Now, with that, that's all I have for you. I'm pretty excited about this, to get back to doing lives. The only time I wasn't doing live is when I was on the road and I didn't have enough of the internet power to come to you live. So we're going to be figuring that out, and we're going to be doing some additional videos here on YouTube. But of course, this is our kind of our replacement for our office hours. We're going to be doing this once a month. And I definitely want you to give me the update on what you worked on. Did it work out? And how is it going? And for those of you, if you need gigs, come check us out at iFind You Close. I appreciate you. Have an amazing 2022. I'm going to be back here in a month, or probably in a couple of weeks. We're going to be doing a workshop soon. So make sure you tune in to iFindYouClose.com for our upcoming events and see what's happening. We're going to have a mix of free workshops and a whole bunch of other things coming up with this year. Take care of yourself. Don't party too hard. I'll see you soon. Bye.